Basketball has given fans a lot to cheer about in 2023, and what better way to celebrate that than to press rewind? Hello, I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And I'm Diego Dario. Let's take a trip down memory lane as we revisit the most iconic events of the FIBA World Cup 2023 in the Philippines.
All right, so Pinoy basketball fans have had a memorable year, and the FIBA Basketball World Cup was a significant part of that. Now, here to share his insights and highlights is basketball analyst, former Gilas member, Big Chill, Isaac Go. How are you doing?
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year. And of course, I just want to say, in costume si Diego Dario. He's wearing the Pilipinas shirt.
He came prepared. He came prepared.
100%. So let's go back to that very first game sa FIBA Basketball World Cup, where the Philippines broke a record in the Philippine arena. 38,115 was the number present at the venue to watch the Philippines take on the Dominican Republic. Result didn't go our way, but still, what a way to start off the party.
Yeah, and remember, this was the culmination of how many years of planning. We knew we were going to be the host. We knew that this was the game, and yun na. Didn't disappoint. We came out swinging. We played really well. Just lost by 6 against a Dominican Republic team that a lot of people felt, hey, could have made a deep push in the playoffs. So only losing by 6, home crowd, 38,000 came to see our national team play. Man, you couldn't ask for, well, you could ask for the win, but aside from that, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, we had it. We actually had that game, yeah.
Personally, I still can't believe that we hosted an actual FIBA World Cup. It's still surreal to me. But Isaac, what does this say though about, Philippine basketball and basketball globally having 38,000, breaking that record? What does that say about the Philippines?
I think it's been well known and well documented that people always talk about, when they talk about the Philippines, it's hospitality, mangoes, and then our love for basketball.
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. But because of that, now parang people, I guess a lot of these people heard about it, they never get to experience, but now, given a big stage like the FIBA World Cup, na, they come in and they actually see it, they feel it. And parang yun eh, now it's tangible now.
Yeah.
38,000, that's the number you guys have to be in the future.
I'm not over that list. Miss Universe. There's just so many other things.
We can go on and on.
Yeah, we can go on and on. All right, but you actually pick we actually asked you for favorite moments, and apart from the Philippines, obviously against the Dominican Republic, which was already a big game in itself, you also wanted to focus on a couple of guys, Luka and Austin Reeves. Any Luka or Austin Reeves game was your favorite moment?
I'm sorry, I couldn't add Walker Kessler there.
No, it's okay. That was just my moment, man. He only played for a moment.
But it's really because we as basketball fans don't really get to get these guys to come here.
Yeah.
Sometimes the NBA has these NBA Philippines when they come here and play, or they come here and visit. But to have them come and play in their national team colors, you saw that the crowd when Luka, and you credit Luka, was a lot of times he didn't have to play 30, 35 minutes. He didn't have to. But he wanted to. He wanted to repay the fans that took the time, spent their well-earned money to get to the venue, pay to watch a ticket, and he came out in balls. Same with Austin Reeves. He started to build this phenomenon around him, and now, he even went to a sneaker convention, diba, outside of his free time, to meet with the fans, to represent his brand. And parang the Filipino fans enjoyed both of them, honestly. You saw that sila yung parang, if there were 2 winners in the World Cup, in terms of fans, it was probably the both of them.
Basically, he's him.
He's him.
Austin, you're him. But then, when you talk about Luka, that was the only game I watched live, because we were covering some of the games on Pilipinas Live on the fan stream. But I didn't believe Luka magic at the start, like how insane Luka is, how big he is in person, and how great he is as a player. It's different. The way he plays is just, I haven't seen any player play like him, and it's just a blessing that he was here in the Philippines.
Dude, I got to watch him quite a few times, and I broke out into song, pare.
What?
Yeah, you got to believe in man. All right, so apart from
one
all
of our
that,
close friends is shoot.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Prince Rivero.
Memorable experience.
He named this kid after Luka, but yeah, that's how it all works out. Austin Reeves, I think probably the biggest surprise in terms of fan interest, because when he came here, there were a lot of NBA stars all over the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and him being the guy from the Lakers that everyone attached to, it felt like he hit a new level of stardom.
If there was Luka magic, there's called Laker magic for Austin Reeves. It's different.
And I have to agree with that, because again, if you ask most people, if it's not Ginebra, it's the Lakers. Who's their favorite? It's probably the Lakers. And of course, add the fact that there were rumors that he was dating Taylor Swift.
Right.
And I think there's also that he's relatable. He isn't overly athletic. He isn't the sikat na player na 5-star from wherever high school and played in a big college. He was the guy that went under the radar, not so well known, not really athletic to the point where he's not jumping out of the gym like the Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges. So parang I think there's that. He's attainable. He's relatable.
Parang pwede mo gayahin the way
mo
he
siya
plays,
gayahin
you know?
eh. It's like, let's be real. If Anthony Edwards does a 360 dunk, you think any of us can do that?
No,
Ay, sa gayaan mo nga yung ginagawa ni Austin Reeves.
Wala talaga.
Wala talaga.
No, I get that 100%. Iconic names coming in apart from all of the ones on the court.
Right.
Obviously, we had all of the officials from FIBA, but then we also had ambassadors come in.
The legends.
Luis Scola, Carmelo Anthony, Sue Bird, Pau Gasol, and it just felt like they added just so much star power to the entire event.
And what's nice is that you have a change of everything. You have something for everyone. You have the current players for the more younger generation, people who are still immersed in the game, and then you have those older fans, the ones that watched Luis Scola, Pau Gasol. Parang yun na, there's something for them as well. And let's be real, for some people who came here, they love basketball, but parang sino siya? There's a lot of unknown guys. So, but to have these star powers to come in, parang, so these people at the end of the day still have someone to attach to, someone to, oh man, he's here. So parang there was something for everyone this World Cup.
And what's great with these legends, what they did here, you know, they didn't just play. I mean, we watched to see Luka Magic, Austin Reeves, but these guys, Luis Scola, Melo, they actually interacted with the Filipinos, the community. So I think that was a great experience for everyone.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot to talk about, especially with the FIBA Basketball World Cup hosting. But then, of course, we're going to focus on Gilas in just a bit.
And Isaac won't leave yet.
Oh, yeah.
You're staying with
He's
us.
staying.
Because after the break, we'll look back at our gold medal moment in the 19th Asian Games. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back, you're still watching The Game. Pinoy basketball fans were given a treat all throughout 2023, but nothing was sweeter than Gilas Pilipinas taking the crown at the Asian Games for the first time in 6 long decades. Now, still with us to talk about one of the biggest national team achievements this year is Gilas alumni and basketball analyst Isaac. Hindi pala yun this year, that was last year, 2023. But, you know, George, first championship in 61 years, what can you say? I mean, that was an amazing moment for not just Philippine basketball, for all the Filipinos around the world.
Of course, because we always say that we're one of the dominant forces in Asia, right, in terms of basketball. But parang we don't have in terms of like the accolades that the other countries have. So finally getting one in the Asian Games, parang diba, when you finally get one, you get over the hump, parang in spite of everything that's happened and you win it, diba, it even makes it so much sweeter because you appreciate what everyone had to go through and what everyone went through before you. So parang yun, it's a culmination of everyone's work to
and
be able to
talking about appreciating, we appreciate it from our sofas, watching TV. But this guy right here beside us, he was right there. He was appreciating that moment and covering it. Pao, what was the vibe like when they finally won that gold?
Remember we have to go back and look at the China game in particular.
right.
Not even in the Iran game. The Philippines almost lost twice, okay, throughout the entire tournament. And just seeing them win against Jordan, it almost felt like it was predestined because of the way that they won against Iran.
If there was Luka magic, there's Brownlee magic.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they say Pau magic. Because Pau magic, Pau was there.
Pau was there.
Goodness. Yeah, no, that's not on me though. That's Brownlee. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think one of the biggest keys is that first time in 61 years, Coach Tim Cone actually went out in the locker room and said that, guys, I was 3 years old when they won the Asian Gold. That's Coach Tim Cone was 3 years old.
Wow.
So imagine no
That's
one
crazy.
there even remembers or would have been alive in that locker room.
That's crazy. Just
So a
talking
chance
about
for
that
them
way?
to and a chance for them to break that history. My goodness.
It's a full circle moment. Parang, for someone to have watched that first gold medal, or probably even memories of that gold medal,
Right.
parang yun na to win it, diba? Parang, for him, it's like it's a full circle moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at the road to the finals. Kasi they won the semis against China 77 to 76. In the quarterfinals, they also won 84 to 83. I cannot
Cardiac
I
moment.
cannot tell you how
What were you feeling that time?
not great.
Because when we were
Not
watching
great.
it, we were like,
It's basketball.
Like,
Come on,
like,
like,
we're right there.
No, if anyone tells me that no one felt that talo na tayo against China or maybe even against Iran, I believe it was Iran, in the quarterfinals, I don't believe you. Kasi grabe talaga, the way that the Philippines pulled out those wins were different.
And in the finals though, and let's talk about the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, cardiac moments in the road to the finals, but the finals, it seemed like we were kind of in control the whole game.
I think that's what happened. We played them in the first game. Parang, I think nangangapa pa eh. Parang we still didn't figure out how to guard REJ, how to figure out the system. Tapos parang, yun na, parang, you said destiny. 2 close games, parang, hey, we got through Iran, we got through China. Parang, yun na, it's predestiny that we were gonna get this. That we were there. It's gonna be ours.
But was there like a confidence, I mean, within that locker room when you guys won, when we won that 2 close games heading into the finals?
When we won the 2 close games heading to the finals, first it was honestly disbelief. Okay, disbelief. But I want to talk about the fact that we played Jordan in the finals and we lost to them earlier on.
In the elimination.
Now, after the loss against Jordan, si Coach Tim Cone was already preparing to meet Jordan again.
he knew.
He knew that if ever they made the finals, it will be against Jordan, most probably.
Wow, yeah.
And he was already trying to figure out ways how to beat Jordan. And apart from that, we have to give credit to the coaching staff here because having conversations with them, the realization is that yung mga coaches sa Pilipinas, they are great adjustment coaches because they play teams over and over again here in the Philippines and they have to adjust every single time.
Yep.
Now you play this team once,
Right,
second
right.
time around is going to be different. Kaya ganun talaga.
We have 7-game playoffs.
Just
Yeah,
in
yeah,
playoffs,
right?
that's why. And I've always wondered how it's gonna be like to be. And remember in college it's 3, and with
Yeah.
3 games you don't. It's very quick. But 7 games you have to beat a team 4 times in a row, and 4 times in that 7-game series. It's very tough to adjust.
That's
Yeah.
a great point because outside of the NBA, I think the PBA is the only league that has a 7-game
Look,
series.
when
Right?
nung Bay Area Dragons versus Barangay Ginebra, sabi nga ni Brian Gorgian, he's never played in a 7-game series before.
See,
So
That's
stuff
a
like
lot.
that happens. All right, let's focus on some of the players here, and I think we have to give all the flowers in the world to Justin Brownlee,
For sure.
who was, I have to say, almost a monster, especially towards the tail end of that Gilas team.
I wouldn't say he's a monster. I say he's godlike because he just took. And I think what it showed in that China game where parang yun na, people felt like it's over because China had a big lead towards the lead, but then Justin Brownlee happened. Parang yun na, he embodied the Ginebra say. Parang he's been playing for Ginebra for so long. Yun na, he embodied the never say die attitude and willed. All right, he put everybody on his back. The coaching staff, the player, everyone on that
The
team.
whole
on his-
country basically.
on the whole
yeah.
country on his-
17 points in the fourth quarter, 5 of 5 from the 3. And Isaac, what did you see with Justin Brownlee there? The way he just took over that game.
Some players get into that zone where every shot you put up, every decision makes right. I think Brownlee went into that zone,
Yeah.
and not only into that zone, went to a whole new level because you've never seen a player dominate and in such a crucial game too.
Yeah, I mean, again, just nightmares for anyone who played Justin Brownlee at that time. And now we have to give credit to Ange Kouame as well because Isaac was very, very excited to give this guy his flowers
Of course.
because Ange Kouame I think defensive anchor, but showing more than just being a defensive
Especially
player.
in that finals game. Right?
Yeah.
He scored 8 points in that last 6 minutes, and not only that, with Ange throughout the whole tournament, didn't really play a lot because it was really they went to Junmar, they went to Brownlee, they went to Japan. I think Japan was there, so Ange really did get that extended run throughout the whole tournament. It was really only in the finals where all of a sudden Coach Tim trusted him, gave him. Remember, he played the last 6 minutes. We always talk about like playing the most important minutes. Ange played that last 6, and he delivered. And parang I always challenge Ange friendly, unfriendly ways because that's how he is. He likes to be challenged, and I think there was a challenge posed to him by Coach Timko and the staff and everybody, and he delivered.
And Isaac, you were teammates with Ange.
Yeah.
How does he affect that? Because as an opponent, I know how he affects our game. We're not gonna go lay up in front of the rim if Ange is there. But
Right.
as a teammate, though, how does he affect the game?
Knowing that you have someone behind your back that if you make a mistake, he's there to clean it up with one way or another. Whether offense also, he grabs these offensive rebounds that, Mario, you feel so much more confident, hey, I can shoot this in peace because he's going to get the offensive rebound. I can pressure this guy up because if I get beat, I got a rim protector behind me. So parang he just acts and anchored both ends of the floor that parang it just boosts the whole confidence of the team, whole morale, and parang it just makes it fun to play with him.
George, I know we're too young for this question, but then where do you feel this championship ranks in Philippine basketball
tough
history?
Then I think 60 years from now, we'll be talking about this. We'll be on a show like this, talking about it.
We still have a show in 60 years?
With our canes, probably.
No canes, man. No canes.
No canes, no
Oh,
But we'll be
si
talk-
Direk, si Dred nandito pa rin.
We'll be talking about how Gilas won the 19th Asian Games.
And of course, when you talk about that Gilas victory, how does that affect the fans that are watching also, not just the team? Let's talk about the fans supporting the team.
You know that the basketball fans here in the Philippines are really diehards. That
Yeah.
they will live and die with the team. They will express their opinions online, and of course they've been wanting something. They've been ever since that silver medal. I think in 2013. We haven't and awarding them of the hosting. We haven't had something tangible to hold on to.
Yeah.
And now with this gold medal in the 19th Asian Games, fans have something now. I remember the time when we won, that the Philippines won the 19th Asian Games.
Gilas gave them that.
Gilas gave them a moment that they will talk about with their kids, their grandkids, and hopefully their great grandkids in the future.
It made us really excited for more Gilas basketball, especially in this year, because there's a lot of games that Gilas will be playing, especially with the Asian Cup, and of course, trying to make it beyond that as well. Isaac, don't go away. You're still going to be here because after the break, we wrap up our Rewind episode with the best players of Gilas in 2023. Ooh, stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. We're winding down our rewind episode on the best of Gilas Pilipinas in 2023. So I'm throwing it over to my partner, Diego Dario, over at the screen with basketball analyst Gilas alum, Isaac Go. Gentlemen, take it away.
You know, to start it off, we're actually going to play one-on-one, me and Isaac.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we're going to start it off this body with the Gilas 2023 lineup of Isaac Go, our basketball analyst here. Isaac, this is in no particular order, so you know you're not gonna get any hate here. We talked about Justin Brownlee earlier, so he's definitely part of this starting lineup of yours. So you know we talked about how great he is, how he's probably one of the GOAT imports here in the Philippines. But let's talk about Jordan Clarkson, you know the star that we had here for Gilas Pilipinas during the World Cup.
Of course, it was evident when you had Jordan Clarkson on your team that how he was gonna play, and of course, Pau's already smiling because we're talking about Jordan Clarkson. But we really saw that yun ang NBA level. It's different to have a guy who's been at the NBA level, being someone there who's delivering. And he delivered. He helped us win. He got our win against China. And throughout the tournament, you know that, hey, when you had Jordan Clarkson, it gives you a shot to win the game.
I mean, 25 points per game during the World Cup and exploded for that win against China. I mean, when you have a Jordan Clarkson in your team, what does that do for the whole Gilas team?
And people forget, he was third in scoring with 25, but 25, sorry, but he's also third in assists. So he's a guy who understands that I have gravity, I'm a great scorer, but I can also dish the rock, which allows other guys all of a sudden to have now wide, more open shots, and you know the best shots and open shots.
Well, he can basically do everything because he just broke the record for Utah Jazz.
First triple-double.
In how many years?
Since 2008, so 16 years.
Last one was Carlos Boozer.
The Carlos Boozer against a franchise that's not even there anymore, against the Seattle Supersonics. So it's just one of those things. And of course, Jordan Clarkson, as you mentioned here, third in the tournament in assists and third in tournament in points per game. He had the ball a lot. And was a guy slinging it around for Gilas Pilipinas.
That says a lot about Jordan Clarkson.
Yep.
We're happy for him playing for Gilas Pilipinas. And let's move over to the next player here on the starting lineup. Again, in no particular order, but your fellow Atenean, Dwight Ramos. He played excellent during the World Cup.
I'm so happy he didn't play in the UAP, by the way.
He would probably destroy a lot of players.
And you would be surprised. You look at the stat sheet, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Where did this come from? But he's the type of guy who's really an anchor, someone who's really steady across the board. You know that he can score. He has the ability also to facilitate, and he's a big guard. So standing at maybe 6'3", he has the size to compete and the athleticism as well. So he also had a double-double performance in that World Cup. So now you expect Dwight Ramos, he's only 24 years old, I think. So he's going to be a fixture in our national team for years to come.
Maybe for us basketball fans and basketball players, you know, we appreciate Dwight with the way he plays in the game. But also there's another aspect to his game here with the fans, Filipino fans, appreciating the looks of Dwight Ramos. No? Saint Dwight.
Iba talaga pag pogi.
I didn't know how to butt in with that, but I wanted to say the exact same thing.
Saint Dwight for a reason. He's called Saint Dwight for a reason. Okay, so moving on from Dwight Ramos, let's move over to another Atenean here in your starting line. So we have Jordan Clarkson, of course, Justin Brownlee, Dwight Ramos, and of course Ange Schramm. We talked about him earlier, but you know, give him your flowers, Isaac.
Man, it's always tough giving Ange flowers because I know that if he's watching this, he's gonna say that you should have said more about me. But talking about Ange, and remember, he's a guy who doesn't really need the ball to dominate the game. We are blessed that we have guys like Jordan Clarkson and Justin Brownlee who, with their ability, they dominate the ball at the same time deliver. Ange doesn't need the ball to really dominate the game. He does it on the defensive end by blocking shots, switching on the perimeter. He does it on the offensive end by becoming a roller, offensive rebounder. So parang, yun na. We were talking about earlier how you need a glue guy like that who doesn't really need the ball but dominates the game, and Ange Kwame is that guy.
Right, of course. I mean, we all know how Ange Kwame affects the game. You just mentioned it. But this guy kind of affects the game in a similar way. Your next guy on your starting lineup is AJ Edu. He was, you know, phenomenal in the World Cup. You know, he didn't really play in the qualifying rounds, but he surprised everyone with his performance.
That's why I had to put him on this list because he's one of those guys where I think there's a lot of mystery of him coming into this team. And at the start of the build-up, he was also hurt. So parang I think people kind of understood why he was there because he was young. They needed size, especially with Jordan Clarkson being a naturalized player. But there's a lot of mystery to him. In China, he had a okay run, but nothing like people think like, okay, we got a guy.
Yeah.
But that moment happened when he played in the Dominican Republic. tried to play hard against Carl Anthony Towns, made it difficult for him. And we saw the effort was there. Cat was gonna get his buckets, gonna get his rebounds, but AJ made him work throughout the whole game. And people started to see like, this guy's legit. He's not just there to fill in the roster and provide some size. He's legit.
I have a hard question for Isaac right after he talks about the last guy that we have as a six-man.
And for the six-man, hindi lang starting lineup yung bibigay namin sa inyo.
Kailangan
We have this guy. A fan favorite as well, always viral on social media, Renz Abando, because he deserves the praise and the flowers as well with the way he played for Gilas Philippines.
Of course, but first of all, we wish him on his speedy recovery from his nasty injury. But I think with AJ Edu, people kind of understood why he was there because they needed size. I think with Renz, yes, I think people were divided. There's a group of fans calling for Renz he had to be part of the roster. At the same time, there are fans like, wait, we have other guys like Matthew Wright. Probably there are other wings that we could have filled, but this guy balled out. And parang, I guess that 50 side now shift over to the side that agrees that he should be in the roster because he made such an impact on the defensive end, hitting threes, and again, didn't really need the ball a lot. He wasn't given a lot of time, but whatever time he was given, he delivered.
So my question here, if you're gonna pick a breakout player between Renz Abando and AJ Edu, who would that be for you?
Ooh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, we also have to wish AJ Edu a speedy recovery as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's tough. That's tough. But I think it'd be Renz because Renz's injury recovery will be a lot shorter than AJ at this moment, but I do believe that both of these guys will deliver for Gilas for years to come.
So quickly, Isaac, because this is a starting lineup, so we gotta see how you thought about this, getting a 5 and a 6-man. How do they complement each other, in a way? All the 5s that you picked.
Thankfully, that's not my job. That's what whoever coach we put in that role, that's his job, not my job.
Yeah.
But this is your starting lineup, so but it's a solid starting lineup for Gilas Philippines. Everyone played really well in your starting lineup.
Absolutely. Isaac, really appreciate you coming on over and being honest with all of this, and of course, just hanging out with us and talking all hoops. Again, I really appreciate you and can't wait to see you again really soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Isaac. And thank you guys for joining us. I'm Diego Dari.
And I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.